Does an angel at the end of the book of Revelation give us the key to understanding the order of events in the entire book? Something that I believe 100% of Bible scholars have completely overlooked. This is a really key passage. In the last chapter of Revelation, John falls on his face to worship an angel. This being tells him to stop, as we should only worship God. But who is this angel? And even more important, is it an angel at all, or someone or something else? That's what we're talking about today, and we're starting right now. So let's see what the Bible says about this mystery and why some people think it could be something or someone other than an angel that John tried to worship. And remember, when we solve this mystery of whether it's an angel or something else, it's going to give us a key to unlocking the order of events in the book of Revelation. So, let's keep going. I, John, am the one who heard and saw these things. And when I heard and saw them, I fell down to worship at the feet of the angel who showed me these things. And he said to me, "Do not do that. I am a fellow bondservant of yours and of your brothers the prophets, and of those who keep the words of this book. Worship God." So first of all, the passage clearly says it was an angel that John bowed down to worship. However, there is another term used in the passage that seems to cause a contradiction, and that word is bondservant. And it's always used in terms of humans in the Bible. We're going to explore that idea today. But not only is that strange, but there appears to be a second time that this happened. John trying to worship an angel. Back in Revelation 19, we see an almost identical event. Then I fell at his feet to worship him, but he said, "Do not do that. I am a fellow bondservant of yours and your brothers and sisters who hold the testimony of Jesus. Worship God. For the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy." Revelation is a difficult book to understand, granted, but this particular event is very difficult to understand. Would John actually have worshipped at the feet of this same being twice, especially after being warned not to do so? Now, I think that's highly unlikely. John was a very obedient disciple, so maybe they are the same event. And maybe they're the same being. So let's look into this. Even though the passage says angel, occasionally the word angel means something different in the Bible. The Greek word angelos means messenger. And it could be an angelic being or it could be a human. And that is why some people believe it wasn't an angel at all, because of this fact and the term bondservant that is used. The Hebrew word bondservant, Ebed, means a slave. However, the Mosaic law allowed an indentured servant to become a bondservant voluntarily. Let's see what it says. If the servant declares, "I love my master and my wife and my children and do not want to go free," then his master must take him before the judges. He shall take him to the door or doorpost and pierce his ear with an awl. Ooh, doesn't sound pleasant. Then he will be his servant for life. In other words, a bondservant was someone who voluntarily became a slave of another because they loved their master. This seems to make sense when we consider Christians because they volunteer to be Jesus' servants. But angels, they're something different. They were created to be his servants and didn't fall. They didn't have to resume that process. So this seems a very strange usage. The angel compares himself to human bondservants. He says he is a fellow bondservant of the prophets, who are John's brothers, those who bear witness to Jesus, who are John's brothers, and those who keep the message of Revelation, all of them humans. The angel equates himself with you and your brothers too, as the same kind of bondservant as all Christian servants of God. So to many, this angel appears to have been a human who has already witnessed the events of Revelation, and thus, from a future time, other than the time John is writing in, other than while John is being shown the thing of the apocalypse, is showing them to John. However, let's dig a little deeper. In the passage we looked at in Revelation 22, the angel is simply called the angel. But what about the context of the passage? Because context should always show us what's going on. If we read back further, all the way back to chapter 21, the same angel is finally identified. Then one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls full of the 7 last plagues came and spoke with me. This isn't just an ordinary angel then. It is a very special angel. What about the angel John bows before in Revelation 19? Can we identify him? Well, just like in Revelation 22, we have to work our way back into the text to find out who it is who is speaking to John. This time, we have to go back 2.5 chapters to find the answer. Then, one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and spoke with me. Again, it's one of the 7 angels with the 7 bowls. It just isn't likely that God entrusts this task of pouring out the bowl judgments to a human being. These are almost certainly angels. But are they the same angel? And are these events the same event? Did John only bow once before an angel? Although we can't be certain, on this channel we think it is the same angel and the same event. That John simply recounts it twice. The 2 events are just too similar, and John would not make that same mistake twice of bowing down to an angel, especially if it was the same angel. That would mean that an angel could be a bondservant of God as well. And I find that very interesting. It means that angels must have some choice in the matter. But now we get to the main point. Why does John include this very unusual passage twice in the book of Revelation? We've already determined that it is almost impossible to believe that he actually bows down to the angel twice. So including the passage must serve some other purpose. And we are convinced that it is included in order to help us understand the very difficult order of events in Revelation. John repeats things in Revelation several times, and he appears to do this as a signal or as a marker for the different sections of the book. In Revelation 11, after the 7th trumpet, we read that the temple of God in heaven is opened. Then in Revelation 15, right before the bowl judgments begin, again, we read that the temple of God in heaven is opened. Why twice? Why is the temple opened twice? We don't think it is. Rather, we believe it is a marker in the text. Everything between those 2 references to the temple opening is a separate vision. And the opening of the temple is the key to understanding that. All of chapters 12, 13, 14, and the first 5 verses of chapter 15 are out of chronological order. They are a separate vision that gives further understanding to what had just taken place during the opening of the seals and the blowing of the trumpets and the day of the Lord. Then, when the temple is mentioned opening again, it is the point where the main chronological part of Revelation begins again. After the trumpets come the bowl judgments, and everything in between, chapters 12, 13, 14, and half of 15, are just there to enhance our understanding of the earlier section. This same literary device is used by John, we believe, in this odd account of him bowing to an angel. It is used to partition off the account of Mystery Babylon found in Revelation 17, 18, and the first 10 verses of chapter 19. Mystery Babylon is also out of chronological order in the book of Revelation. That should stun many of us. But where does it fit in the story? Click right here to keep watching to learn how all the pieces of Revelation fit together and what parts are chronological and what parts are not. If that video hasn't been published yet, click right here to see how the struggle between Michael and the angels of God and Satan and his fallen angels are mirrored by events on earth. Till then, this is Nelson, and I'll see you there.